Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails, a Grand Arena story, brought to you again by Xaereth's mobile device. First off, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons. I love each of you with the fervor and passion of a man who knows that if he didn't have any patrons, then the number of patrons he had would be 0. We are finally in Group 4, which is the final group of Championship 7. Going into this match, I was 9-0, looking for a perfect season, and all of my opponents, potential opponents, have either Galactic Rey or Galactic Kylo or both. My opponent has both. My opponent is Mace Windu, which is a really fun name because not only is it what he probably said as he flew out the window, but it also kind of implies his fate. Where did Mace go? He went out the window. So pretty cool, clever name. And my opponent, when I scouted them, had both Galactic Legends. They had Rey and Kylo, though Kylo was only Gear 12 when I checked. And otherwise, looking at the stats, my opponent has a very respectable lifetime banner score. I have a little bit higher, but at this point our separation is not that much. Definitely a threat to destroy me. They have a huge advantage in Gear 13, unfortunately, by 10. They have fewer Zetas than I do, which is, that kind of happens a lot lately. I've run into people with fewer Zetas, but look at the number of relics versus mine. Just completely crazy. And my opponent has pretty good mods as well. We're pretty close to even. I do have a few higher end mods. It was going to be a pretty close match, and so going in, I knew that my opponent was probably going to deploy Galactic Rey, and I didn't know what they were going to do with Supreme Leader Kylo, and sure enough, they do have Galactic Rey down, and then they have a Nute team with Nest, which it doesn't have a ton of relics on it, so that's nice. A really strong Geonosian team, a super strong Kylo Ren unmasked team, and then a stronger version of my own Grievous squad. So going into this, I needed to plan to be able to take on both Supreme Leader Kylo and Rey at both of them, and so I decided I've been practicing this counter for a little bit in Grand Arena, or rather in Normal Arena, against the various Reys that do not have their ultimate. And all you take is Supreme Leader Kylo without the ultimate. Mine isn't ultimate either. And Watt, and then Watt gives the healing tech to Supreme Leader Kylo, and Supreme Leader Kylo just proceeds to go completely crazy on the rest of the team. Watt is going to die eventually. That's not really avoidable. But the hope here is that we can just solo the team, essentially. We get that one healing buff, and then after that, we're just trying to gain as much mastery as possible, just trying to do as much damage as possible. And once we get to a certain threshold in our siphon, you can see that stack, that blue buff over his head, that's his siphon amount, and that's how much his mastery is increased. So he's gaining stats every time he's increasing his siphon, and that makes him harder to kill. It just makes him a lot stronger. He hits a lot harder, and so once he gets to a certain point, like Rey just can't do enough damage to him, and he can just take the rest of the team out. So it does take a little bit. These characters were all really fast and really well modded. My opponent did a great job on all of his mods and all of his teams. I will say that. So it takes a little bit of time to chew through this, and maybe I'm not doing the optimum moves here, but you don't really necessarily need that. We're eventually going to wear them down, and you can see some of the crazy damage that Supreme Leader Kylo is doing. And maybe I could have just poked Rey there with the lightsaber. That doesn't sound better either. But maybe I could have taken her out. But I'm just enjoying the moment, just savoring her imminent demise. There's not enough opportunities in this life to enjoy something like that. So eventually we did have to take her out, and I did like 200,000 something damage on my last hit. So pretty cool. 59 banners, pretty cheap counter to a Galactic Rey that a lot of people are stressing out about now. It's a tough team to counter, honestly, especially that version with Watt and L3 can be really tough. But Supreme Leader, if you have him, is a good shortcut for that. And then because I used Watt here, I didn't have as strong of a Kylo Ren team. Uh, I just didn't. My first order team was not going to be as strong, and so what I'm trying to do is preserve a second first order team to be able to be like a cleanup squad or something. And this is the original first order team, anyways. It's pretty strong, regardless, especially because I've had to dump so many relics into it. And one important thing of this counter here, you want to stun Dooku right away so that he can't put stealth on anyone. And if you do that, then that means that you don't have to just constantly hit Nest and have Nest be your sole focus. It can be pretty frustrating to just be hitting her while everyone else is in stealth and just hitting your team. And probably I could have survived that, but why try to do that? Why put up with that? So you take out Dooku as fast as you can, and now there are a couple factors here. There are actually 3 characters here that are basically immune to damage at certain points. Jango is immune for the first 2 turns he has. Nest is immune after the first time you hit her, basically, and then Droideka can give himself that immunity. And then Nute, in addition to all of this, Nute can revive himself. So it's actually a fairly resilient team despite all of the characters being somewhat squishy. And so we're just trying to contain everyone. Droideka was not a high enough gear level to really threaten my Kylo Ren, which is great. And now we're just trying to we're just trying to go crazy here. Took out Nest with relics, and Nute eventually got a turn. He's in stealth now. Executioner is just going to town, taking people out left and right, executing them, executing his mission. It's great. So normally we want to try to get First Order Officer up to higher protection, but there was just no way. The Executioner was doing his job too well, and I ended up getting 59. So pretty efficient on the front zone. So I'm excited to start showing you guys a little bit of my lack of efficiency here, though, which is kind of what happens moving into this. Now, my opponent had never, in the history of GAC history that I had looked at, he'd never placed a Darth Revan team on defense. And when I looked at his speed, I noticed that he didn't have any mods. I don't know if any other characters had no mods, and no other character that I checked had 0 mods, but that was something that I thought maybe I could exploit. That was a very surprising squad to find in the back, and it's probably because my opponent realized that they didn't have mods and that they that team could still steal banners on defense at least. So after seeing these teams in the back here, I realized that my opponent did not have Kylo, and I wouldn't have to do any weird roster things. So I had Geos available as a counter, potentially. And so I asked my buddies, Klesso and Solo, who have way more experience on offense with Geonosians, if they could beat the Jedi Training Rey team with the veterans. And I asked them, and they were extremely helpful, as you can see from the pictures. So I decided to just go for it. And you'll all have to forgive me when I say I just don't really know Geonosians that well on offense. I am pretty good at this point at killing them with various squads, and I know what they can do, but I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to Geonosians. I don't even know the right order. You can see I was just took my time putting them in, and I have no idea. I probably should have put Sunfac first to dispel things, but I didn't, and whatever. So moving into this match is you'll just have to forgive all of the I keep saying you'll have to forgive. You don't have to do anything, but I do ask it of you. So they're taking a ton of turns, and the thing that I knew going into it, you can't kill Rey. If you kill Rey, then the veterans will both take a turn and life will be bad. But she's also stealthed there, and I didn't know who else to hit. Veteran Han, of course, is in the back, and he's a an okay target. The thing that I was worried about was if I took a ton of turns and just took out Han, then Chewie's probably going to just one-shot one of my characters because of all of his various things. So I took a turn and killed Chewie, and that was a poor choice. That was a really poor choice because Han got an AoE off, and look at my health now. My max health is just totally shot, and all it's going to take is a couple focused hits, and they're probably just going to take me out entirely. Now they're starting to kill actual Geonosians, and my Brood Alpha left, and now I'm just up a creek. Like, at least we killed their Relic 3 veteran Chewie, I guess. I really frustrating. I feel I can't help but feel like I could have done better, played this one better. But I don't know. I would be interested to hear what you guys think. How could I have played this better? And I will throw a shout out to my buddy Clash, who apparently designed this team on defense and fed it to Mace Windu. And so shout out to him. He's always good with the scoundrels. He knows his stuff. Go check him out. And anyways, I needed to clean that squad up. I didn't know who else to take. I can reduce or deny turn meter gain with Huck's lead, and well, anyone's lead as long as he has advantage. But wanted to take his leadership because it's way better than Phasma's, especially when Phasma is not Zated. And now I'm always surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised, but all these characters are relict and everything. They're really strong. I'm always surprised, though, at how much offense they have. They hit so hard with their basic attacks, and with any of their attacks. And so two of the characters just evaporated immediately. And so we're just going to clean up at this point. There was no tension in this fight about if I was going to lose. Like, at first I thought maybe I would, but it would be close, but I did take him out. I got 35 banners, so I dropped 5. That was pretty ugly right there. Could have done better. And really, my opponent's defense, they have a lot of relics out there, but they don't have any meta teams. All of their really good meta teams are on offense, and so I figured at this point I was probably just sunk. But of course, we're going to keep marching forward. There's always hope. Potentially my opponent can mess up or something. And so this Revan team with no relics or mods on Revan, I noticed they didn't have a pre-taunt. They didn't have Sith Empire Trooper in there. And so I decided they also don't have Bastila. They don't have Bastila Sean Fallen. So we have an opportunity now. I don't have to use my own Bastila, and that frees up a lot of possibilities for the other top zone in a minute. And so I did go in here, and I took Thrawn because I didn't want Malak to be doing any of his annoying shenanigans if I could help it. And so I put Fracture on him, and now we got to take out Marauder as fast as we can, and HK. Those are the two big threats to kill our characters. And so I used my big hit on Marauder. Revan was easy pickings because he doesn't have any mods. He's easy to take out. And now HK didn't get any one-shots off, which is great. Now we just got to take out Malak the way God intended, just by doing all the damage. And unfortunately, he is just intent on sucking the soul out of Thrawn. And I guess I get that. Thrawn can be pretty frustrating to deal with. That dude is frustrating, especially when he fractures you. Imagine being fractured by someone in real life. I can't imagine I'd be grateful for that. So we're just struggling to take out his Malak, but eventually that does happen. 55 banners again. And honestly, guys, it's kind of happening a lot in this episode. I've already dropped 5 on a couple fights, not to mention 20 on one of them. So anyways, after that, I did end up making Kyber in the middle of the round, which is cool. And so I'm just feel like I'm needing to show that to everyone, I guess. I don't know. they were in my screenshots. They made it in, and it's cool. I made Kyber. So that's the 8th, 9th consecutive time that I've made Kyber, so pretty cool. And now we have this top zone to clear. And we don't have many teams. I'll show you guys my defense in a little bit, but I already used my own Darth Revan. That I had taken him to counter Supreme Leader Kylo. So what we have my Palpy with Bastila and the trio team, and we're going to take out these droids. I also have a Commander Luke team. I have my Jedi Training Rey team, and I have Night Sisters. So I should be able to clear these guys, but the question is how efficiently. Now this is interesting. I get to face the same droid team that I've been placing on defense. So they have a probe droid, and we got to be careful because it's only gear 12, and we don't want to just kill it. If we kill it, then Grievous is going to get a turn, and who knows what that madman will do with that turn. So we're just trying to get Annihilate off. You guys have seen this counter a million times by now. It's a little bit different because the 5th member of this team is Probe Droid, but it plays the same. Like, we're just trying to avoid doing too much damage to any of the droids, and if we can get B1 down quite a bit, that's great. Of course, you noticed probably that I put Isolate on Magna Guard so we can't taunt at some frustrating moment, and then B2 is shocked so that he can't actually take his bonus turns or anything. And eventually we got Annihilate up. We got it up faster this time because Nihilus ended up getting a turn before a lot of other characters because other members of the trio got hurt, and when they get hurt, then he gains turn meter. So now we're just trying to mitigate as much damage as possible, trying to keep them from doing AoEs that are going to steal banners, because we need every banner we possibly can, because this team is not just this team, this round is it's not going as well as I had been hoping. And we need to save banners. So, every banner counts. I don't know how many times I've won by 1 point. Not too many, but enough to know that points do matter quite a bit. Someone posted that on Reddit the other day. They're like, I won by 1 point, and every point matters. And I was like, duh. But, of course it does. It matters even if you win by more than one. You need to be in that habit. So 57 is the standard. You can't really get more than that with that team, but it was nice to get a nice stress-free win. Now, my buddy Solo Base 15 did a really interesting thing on his last video, and I'm going to link it in the video description if I can, and if I remember. But one way or another, go check out his site, search Solo Base 15, SOLOBASS 15 on YouTube, watch his videos, because he comes up with some pretty great stuff, despite his lack of knowledge about Geonosians, apparently. So he took Cassian with his Commander Luke team against a Kylo Ren team to be able to give healing immunity. Now, I didn't need my Jedi Training Rey, so I figured, why shouldn't I just take Jedi Training Rey instead of Cassian? Because Cassian would steal guard from Commander Luke. We don't want that. What we want is someone who can put the healing immunity on Kylo Ren so we don't time out. So I felt safe taking C-3PO here because 3PO normally is a timeout threat against the Kylo Ren team, Kylo Ren lead. And the thing is, you're going to time out against a lot of Kylo Ren teams if they are Relic 7 with Commander Luke. And frustratingly though, I went in, I killed a character, and and then it was apparently the wrong character. It just was the wrong character. So after I killed Hux, then First Order, or rather Sith Trooper, went and just killed Rey. And that is hugely problematic here, because normally if you take 3PO against a Kylo Ren team, then you're gonna time out because you're causing too many status changes and he's healing too much. And 3PO just makes it. I've seen so many Commander Luke teams just time out entirely here. So I'm trying to be smart here and just use my big hits where I can. And luckily, somehow I got through Kylo Ren unmasked. I don't know how. Maybe he just didn't mod for health or something. Maybe that was a character that wasn't modded at all. I don't know. But one way or another, I did take him out. Now we're also trying to do some damage when we can to the other Kylo, because he is also extremely resilient and tough to take out. And I have timed out against this as well when I have 3PO on the team. And unfortunately, Rey's already gone. I was like, man, maybe if Kylo just goes one more time, he can use his AoE and kill 3PO, and then I can kill him easily. And you hate to wish for the death of your own team, but that's true. Like, look at his health. I'm hitting him, and he's actively healing his protection. It's so gross. And really, I was really regretting taking Rey. I thought it was a great idea to have someone with healing immunity to take him out at the end. But obviously not so much. And now I'm just hoping you have to time your hits as best you can. Just trying to make it so that so that he can, if he eventually does take a turn, then you're going to be able to take him out because his defense is gone. But eventually that did happen. It was quite the mess though. 55 banners. Once again, we're embracing the 55 because that seems to be the number that the world and the universe wants us to get this round. And now all I have left are these Geonosians. And shouldn't really be a problem. I have Night Sisters for that. They're all relict. And I've recently started doing this counter. This is a pretty surefire counter. You're going to generally just get 55 banners, but you're going to win for the most part. And this match actually did end up going a little bit south at certain points, but I'll let you guys discover that on your own as it naturally happens here for your viewing pleasure. Now, you saw at the start that I targeted Poggle with a mass assist from Talzin, and the reason for that was I wanted to take Poggle out if possible to prevent him from doing his big dispel of all the debuffs that I'd already been putting on them. And he survived, unfortunately. He's the only one who's gear 12. I thought maybe I'd have a shot at just taking him out. He survived. And now I just got stuck trying to attack Poggle. I think I should have been attacking other characters, but something happened here that's never happened to me before in this match. One of my characters died. I've never actually had any of my characters besides Zombie die, and Asajj died 3 times, and so they're clearly hitting pretty hard. And I haven't killed any of these Geonosians. They're healing and dispelling, and I was starting to feel a little bit at risk. It's like if the spy takes a big shot at Daka, I could be in real trouble here. If he's able to just take her out, we really don't want that. So, we were stuck attacking the Brute. We did take him out, though. The Brute Alpha then immediately just summoned another one, and that's actually really bad. I'd prefer to just keep their Brute alive for a while as my Night Sisters continue to die here. You want to keep the Brute alive if you can and just dispel his buff, because then at least a new one isn't summoned with fresh health and protection for the communal pool, the hive mind pool of health. So Spy was eventually dispelled, the stealth on Spy, and I'm just trying to take out Spy if I can, because Spy is really the only threat to us being able to clear. We're just, again, we're praying that Spy doesn't take it into its mind to kill old Daka right now. We really don't want that. Eventually, though, I did end up getting a big chain assist on Brood Alpha, which did kill him, and then the rest of the Geonosians just fell pretty quick. Where I healed up real fast to get as much health as I could, and got 56 because apparently they just never targeted Spirit. They killed all the other Night Sisters besides Spirit. So 56, I'll take that extra banner if possible. And now we get to the back. There's Malevolence. It's a 5-star Malevolence. And all of these characters, or all of these ships, are pretty strong. And this is a different layout than I've faced in the past. It has 2 Geonosians to start with, Instead of having a vulture droid in there, it has Sunfac and it has Geo Soldier, and then it has the Hyena Bomber. So, I'm trying to save as many banners as possible. So I'm just going to I wanted to just take 2 reinforcements. I think that was a mistake. Probably should have taken more as a just in case. I don't have enough experience with this counter for it to be automatic yet, but especially because I don't know what to expect, really. Like, this is just a different layout than I'm used to. So I decided to target Soldier because he doesn't have a ton of hit points, and I did take him out, so that's good. You don't want Soldier to be there to call assists with the other Geonosians, because you just know that eventually the Grievous is going to get another reinforcement. He's going to summon, or Malevolence is going to summon the spy, and then if the spy can have that synergy with Sunfac and Soldier, I might just be sunk. So happy to kill Soldier. Now we're trying to take out Sunfac as per usual. That's usually the first target I go for, and then incidentally kill their vulture droid that starts. But as it stands, I did get Plo in first. That's one thing you want to do in this battle. You usually want to get Plo in to dispel all the buzz droids. Unfortunately, Spy came in and just destroyed poor Plo. Apparently, he's like an honorary clone or something, because that's what the clones did to Plo in the movie. So, anyways, now we're just trying to take out Hyena, who has an absurd amount of health and protection. I had to take out Sunfac, of course, but he didn't have much left. And now what I'm really praying for is that they don't summon the Falcon, because the Falcon will really make things difficult for me to be able to get the clear in time, and I can't afford another fail attack. So fortunately, they didn't get to summon the Falcon in again. I did manage to win with 60 banners, which is not bad. Dropped another 6, so that's similar to a 55, just the ship's version of it. And I finally got the full clear. For the first time this season, I scored under 1900, so and it's considerably below it. Now, my opponent doesn't attack until like the last hour of Grand Arena. That's just a standard thing when I was scouting them. They just don't attack for that long. So finally, you see they did attack. I caught one screenshot, and you see Kira's kind of slumped. My opponent killed everyone but Nest in that squad, and then started attacking Nute. And Nute, actually, they failed on Nute at one point, and then after that, they were able to get the full clear. But I got a win, surprisingly. I was very surprised. After all the meta teams they had on offense, I thought that I was just going to get one shot and cleared, even if it was inefficient. I thought that was going to happen. So Padme and Grievous both got one shot up top. As you saw, the Kira Nest team got one defend, and so did Nute, which surprised me a lot. That was just kind of a throwaway squad. And then in the back, the one that really puzzles me is my General Skywalker got one defense. I have no idea. My opponent had Skywalker. I assume I would have thought that they would have just done the mirror, but maybe they used the mirror up top on Padme. I'm just not sure. It'll be interesting to see. So once again, here is my final screen. So that's great. I won by a pretty big margin, actually. Really surprising for someone with as high of lifetime banners as my opponent, but I will not complain. Happy to beat Mace Windu and move on to the semifinals. I have 2 more matches to go until I have a perfect season, or until I'm at 10-2. So who knows what I'll end up happening, but I do know that this was pretty cool. I'm really happy to have won this one. Hopefully I can get lucky. My next opponent has Supreme Leader Kylo, so I have no idea how that's going to go. Haven't scouted him yet other than that. And anyways, folks, I am going to just leave you here. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.